Hello everybody and welcome back to another one of those quick Dwarf Fortress tutorials. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a minecart shotgun and kill a lot of things in the process. What you're seeing on screen is a prototype after 2.5 hours of me fiddling trying to make it work in this version. Now we're going to dive in and build one ourselves. So one of these nightmare traps is a concoction of minecarts and high speed, things crashing into things, and speedy thing go down, speedy thing whack wall, speedy thing come out. What we're going to be using to fire this minecart shotgun is wooden spiky balls and a windmill. We're also going to be building a big construction. Please note that you can do this entirely underground. But the way we're going to start off by doing this is we are going to build a couple of walls in a row here. We're going to build a big old square. Right next to it, we're also going to build a way up. So we're going to build a big old square of wooden walls. We're going to build some wooden ramps, and then we are going to build a stairway. So we're going to get all of this queued up, and essentially, the end goal is to fire a minecart down this ramp at maximum speed to then slam off of the thing that it was connected to initially underground, hit a fortification, and crash through and send everything and the contents of it flying in a straight line at high velocity, hopefully causing a large amount of carnage. And it's a very effective strategy, and it's a very vile and mean strategy, but it's effective. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to channel down here, and this is going to be the end location for it. I'm going to channel out 2 squares so we can see what we're doing, and then down here we are going to dig out 2 tiles and then a little zone right here, and this is going to be our target. So we're going to then, as I said earlier, build a stairway up. So I'm going to build a set of stairs all the way up, and this is going to go a good few Z levels up. If I end up building this too high, that is okay. We can always make it taller. So as they begin to place these ramps, things are going to look a little fucky, but as we build things, it's going to look less screwy, so that's going to be a good place to start. Once I get these walls right here connected, I'm going to queue up the next round of ramps. Now, the whole point of this is, like I said, to make a big ramp. That's essentially what this is. It's just a big old downhill ramp to then slam into the thing at the bottom and send stuff flying. So we're going to then, after we've placed those sets of ramps there, we're now going to place our next round of walls. Now, keep in mind, when you're building ramps, they do kind of look invisible for a few seconds until you get the next piece of flooring going, but just trust me, there's ramps there. As you can see, upward slope up there at the top. Now, they're going to continue coming in here and placing all of these wall bits down, and as they get done, things are going to pop up and look a lot more clear. I'm also going to increase the priority on this digging work so that it gets done at a more reasonable time while they build those walls up top. And we're going to dig all this, and increase the priority on these channels. Although I just set all this to be channeled as well, which I really don't want, so I'm going to set those to just be dug instead of channeled. Perfect. So hopefully somebody will get to that as quickly as possible. Now, we're going to fill out the rest of this construction. And keep in mind, this isn't the only way to build these. There are some more glitchy ways to make these. There's some less glitchy ways to make these. I like this one because, to me, it feels like something that dwarves could actually do. Often when it comes to higher-tier Dwarf Fortress strategies, you begin abusing physics bugs, and this is much more what I would describe as a believable mechanic, and less of a, shall we say, bug, or something that could be considered a bug. And considering I don't really like using exploits, I don't even use quantum stockpiles in my own forts generally, I think that this is kind of the only way of setting up a minecart shotgun that doesn't make me go, that's a little cheesy. This one, however, I can believe that dwarves would actually build something like this. Why is there a dead animal there? Cats, come on, please. Like, I'm recording a tutorial here. Can we get rid of this thing? No? Okay, fine. I guess it's going to take a little bit for it to get out of there. I might have to remove that. We're going to continue building those, so we're going to construct here, build another tile, and then since we've got those ramps done over there, we are then also going to throw our next round of ramps going up, and it looks like we've hit the top, so I'm going to have to make the stairs 1 level higher. Let's just do that first. Let's go down to here and connect to these stairs. Hold on, where's my stairs button? Go up 1 layer higher. There we go. And we are going to go here and we are going to place our ramps down just like so. Now, of course, if any of this seems confusing to you, I would recommend also watching my minecarts tutorial, as it will make some of this stuff a lot more clear. Now, at the bottom here, I'm going to carve out around these ramps because I want a straight ramp. I can't have a curved ramp. We're also going to remove the extra bits and pieces around here. Now, at the bottom here, what we're going to do is we are going to build a fortification just kind of along like so. And then we're going to remove these walls on the other side. Now, the idea here is to, as I said, get this thing going fast enough that the contents of this minecart are launched out at incredible speeds. This is extraordinarily dangerous and will probably kill something that's standing here. I can't confirm what, but something will probably be standing here, and it will probably kill them. So if you're squeamish around dying dwarves, this may not be the tutorial for you. I'm just real quick gonna get rid of this rat, and we're gonna finish building this tower, and then I will continue with the video. All right, now that that vermin is gone, we can continue with the construction. So we've got a few more layers up to go here. We've got another layer of ramps to build up top, and then we want to get this up to layer 45. So for clarity's sake, we are starting on layer 41, we're going up to layer 45, and we're going down 1. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish layers tall. Now, for reference, I like to try and make these about 10, so we may go just a little bit higher, as I seem to have misjudged the height here. So we're gonna make our stairs go just a wee bit higher, and we are going to make these ramps go just a wee bit higher as well. We're gonna continue building our walls around the edges, and because Dwarven constructions and engineering is quite sound and quite robust, we don't need to worry too much about height here. We can just kind of keep adding things on as stuff goes. So we're going to continue over here with another spot right there, and then we've got another spot right there, and lastly, another spot right here. So it's weird because I feel like I'm trying to make these tutorials very much kind of beginner friendly. This is probably the most advanced thing I've done so far, next to quantum stockpiling. Very much a technique that you're not going to be using until you've been playing the game quite a bit. So if you're following along and you still consider yourself new, congratulations, you're doing better than I did when I was new, because it took me a long time to get to the point where I was comfortable building stuff like this, and even then, I barely ever did in the older versions because of how clunky minecarts used to be. Now that we've built all the way up to layer 46, what we are going to do is I'm going to wait for these dwarves to finish these last 2 wall tiles, and then we are going to begin building the fun stuff, the actual minecarts, as well as our power source. So once these 2 walls are done, here they come, we're going to build the next piece. Now it looks like they're gonna, oh, nope, they didn't cancel that one wall. How nice of them. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make our power source. So our power source is going to be a windmill, which is going to require a 3x3 chunk of wood. And we're also going to queue up our minecart, so might as well leave the game on pause so they can begin building, and then our minecart is just going to go all the way down to here. Now it's going to stop 1 tile before the end. That's kind of the key there. It's going to stop 1 tile before the end and on a ramp. So it's on an angle when it's coming down and it smacks into the wall. Make sense? No? Yes? Cool. Now, once all of that is put together and everything up top is done, what we're going to do is we're going to throw in a few extra pieces. We're going to throw in a gear assembly, which requires a mechanism, which is constructed at the mechanics shop, which is going to be placed right there. And we're also going to throw in a roller. Now, the roller is kind of like your boosters, and this is going to be powered by the windmill. You can power a lot of boosters with a windmill. It requires a mechanism and a rope. You can power a lot of boosters with a windmill as they do not require a lot of power. The last thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a track stop up at the top. Now this is going to be a kicked track stop so that they're not going to push it, they're just going to kick it. So you do not need an end stop at the bottom. And now that everything here seems to be more or less put together, the one thing that we are missing is a axle, which is going to connect to our windmill, just a single tile axle going north and south, or east and west, sorry. And we are going to connect our windmill to the top. Now, once all of this is constructed, we also have something else that we might as well get going while that is being worked on, which is a weapons stockpile. Now, this is going to be where our source of fire and weapons is going to come from. I've had my dwarves making those lovely, lovely things down here for quite some time, and so might as well get to it. Now, down here at the very bottom, just so that we can see the things that we're shooting at, I'm going to be a bad person and shoot at our livestock, but I'm going to be removing some of this top soil here just so that we can see the carnage that we are about to cause. I mean, it would be a damn shame if you couldn't see it. So while I wait for them to bring the ammunition up and I get this dug out, I'm gonna skip ahead. Now, as you can see, there's some livestock being placed down here, which we are going to fire at, and I've got this minecart track set up, and it's pretty much good to go. So now all we need to do is we need to set her up. And then I'm gonna slow the frame rate down so you can see this at a good speed. So first off, we're gonna add a stop to this track. We are going to set our minecarts to fill with weapons. We are going to select our stockpile to take weapons from, which is gonna be down here. And then we are going to set our dwarves to kick it when it's full. Now, it's not going to fill up. I don't actually have enough stuff down here to fill it up. Because they're based on weight, I don't, and these wooden balls aren't actually that heavy, we're not going to fill this up. So I will simply let them bring our minecart up and fill as much up as possible, and then I will slow the frame rate down, and we will give her a test run. So now, for the sake of clarity, I've turned the frame rate down to 25 FPS so you can see it crashing down in the bottom below. Don't worry, that's an in-game setting. That's not my game breaking or anything. And now we are going to go over to this setting and we're going to say, just fire it. So as you can see, they've already run up and they've hit it, and there it goes. And that's how you make a minecart shotgun. A very, very basic one. And it's, we seem to have completely obliterated this peahen, and if we take a real quick look at the combat log, well, the wooden ball strikes the blue peahen, fracturing the bone. Now, if we were to imagine fill this up with glass discs, or metal bars, or metal statues, or something equally vile, just imagine the amount of damage we could do to a bunch of goblins, or perhaps an army of children that we decide we want to get out of our fortress. There's so many possibilities. Perhaps you really need to decatify your fortress because there's too many cats about. This would be a very quick and vile and disturbing method of doing so. One other thing that is worth noting, if you would like to stop the minecarts from going off every single time, and so that they can be, once they're fully loaded, instead of them just being fired off repeatedly when they get full, simply select the minecart itself and forbid it, and then they can't. They'll just ignore it. They will just go about their day and not click on anything. Thank you for sticking around for this little epilogue because I forgot to add this in the actual video, and I hope to see you in the next one.